Hi everyone. Thanks to all of those who quickly joined me as I was racing down to the Beehive Theaterette to share a few details around the cooperation agreement that the Labour Party and the Green Party has been discussing for the last week now. So we haven't yet finalised the cooperation agreement going through all of the different party processes. The text, what's written, that's all done. But it's now, as we speak, being discussed by the Green Party. We've already gone through the Labour Party process and we've agreed the agreement. We're just waiting to see whether or not it's something that the Green Party will also tick off, and then at that point it comes into effect. If it's not agreed by the Green Party, then we as Labour will simply form government without that arrangement in place. So fairly straightforward. The Green Party are meeting now to discuss the agreement, and so we should know this evening, and we'll put out a statement to let people know. Forgive me, I'm just gonna clean my screen. Sorry, my camera there. There we go. A little less of a foggy hue. So I thought I'd give you a little insight into what it contains. So Mayada, forgive me if I haven't correctly pronounced your name. You just asked basically why we were doing this. Well, firstly, I think it's important to note that what we've discussed together and what we've drafted is not a coalition, and it's not what we had last time, which was a confidence and supply agreement. Those are much more formal, much more close-knit. What we both acknowledge as parties this time is that the numbers that are in Parliament are different, and that our arrangement should reflect that. So what we have drafted together is something that instead just says, look, there are some areas that we agree on. Let's work together on those areas, but without any expectation that we have to form consensus. So that way we won't be in the position of what we had last time, which is slowing things down. So Pam, you've just asked a question around that as well. It's saying, basically the why question. What it does is it firms up our votes in the House. So the Greens are saying, look, we'll vote for you on procedural motions. We'll make sure that we don't vote against you on the budget and on things that really matter to us. So it gives us more stability. It gives us more certainty. And it gives us the ability to really just crack on with that agenda that Labour was elected to deliver on. And it does it in a way that doesn't slow us down, because we won't be having, they won't be in a formal cabinet arrangement. It's essentially using skills, but outside. So Sandra, again, you've just asking whether or not we see the issues of climate change and family violence as important. Of course we do. Of course we do. And in fact, you will have seen no government did as much as we did last term, and we did that whilst those posts were held by ministers that were outside of cabinet. It doesn't lessen the importance of those portfolios. It just means that because we don't have a formal membership of the government, those individuals just sit in a different arrangement. So it's not a reflection on the portfolios at all. In fact, we see family violence as so important, we've just made it its own standalone portfolio, which it was not before. So other content of the agreement. Basically, we've said, here's the areas that we want to work together on. We want to work together on decarbonising public transport, decarbonising the public sector, introducing clean car standards, renewable energy for industrial heat, achieving the outcomes of our biodiversity strategy, pest management programs, waste and problem plastics, homelessness, warmer homes, and child and mental youth health. So that's the list of things we're going to cooperate on. So that's the agreement. We'll see whether or not it's supported. But again, what we recognise in drafting this is that Labour has a very strong mandate and we intend to use it. But we also think that we can do that in a way that takes into account some of the skills that exist in our Parliament and other parties. So, thanks everyone for tuning in. I've tried to just jump onto the questions that were relevant to what I was just talking about now. Someone's just asked whether or not we will be legalising cannabis. We said that we would do what the referendum found, and thus far the referendum has not had the majority of New Zealanders' support for that. So that won't change. Jayton, you've just asked me, do I think the special votes will change it? There'd have to be quite a big swing in the special votes, so I don't think that's likely. But we'll see. Time will tell. Lisa, you've just asked about medicinal cannabis there. Yeah, a good question. One of the things I do want to check in on is the implementation of our law change last term around access to medicinal cannabis, just to make sure that it's working. I think we should always do that as government when we make changes, just make sure that it's working well. Robin, you want to look at the rings on my fingers. There we go. That's the one that Clark gave me. This is one that I've worn so much that it is now square. Look, I think that's picked up some of the questions. One last one. Someone just asked me about the borders. Yes, I saw reports in Australian newspapers. They are not correct. We are not changing our border policy at this point in time. So no, no change there. And I can assure you that if we were changing, you would hear it from us. You would not hear it from an Australian newspaper. Great. Thanks everyone for jumping on. Thanks for joining me for this chat. I hope you're all looking after yourselves, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Take care, everyone.